Hello everyone, I'm Joe Ambrosio. Most of us would agree that Michael Jordan is the greatest player in the history of the NBA, but I'm going to try to make the argument that LeBron James has a legitimate chance to surpass Michael Jordan as the greatest player of all time. First, let's take a look at Michael Jordan's NBA resume, which is quite extensive. He won 6 championships, going 6 for 6 and never losing the NBA final, and never even going to a Game 7 in the NBA final. In those 6 finals wins, he was the MVP each time. He also won the regular season NBA MVP 5 times. He won 10 scoring titles, Defensive Player of the Year, 10-time All-NBA First Team, 9-time Defensive Player First Team, Rookie of the Year, 14-time All-Star, 3-time All-Star MVP, and he won 2 Olympic gold medals and made the movie Space Jam. These accomplishments are almost ridiculous when compared to the other legends in the NBA. Michael Jordan is pretty much a god amongst men in the world of basketball. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and when it's all said and done, Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan will probably be also mentioned in this group. They, in comparison, are nowhere near Jordan's legacy. The only individual player that the NBA ever had that can be compared to Jordan is probably Bill Russell. He won 11 championships during the 50s and 60s, but people will argue that this was a different era of basketball, and he certainly isn't always in the conversation when compared to Michael Jordan for the greatest player of all time. Now, LeBron James has just won his 2nd championship. He has a long ways to go, but I'm going to make the case that he can possibly surpass Michael Jordan for that top spot of all time. So please bear with me. I'm going to validate some of my claims with some statistics because it's the best way to compare LeBron to Jordan at this point in LeBron's career. Let's compare LeBron James versus Michael Jordan at this point in LeBron's career. As you can see, LeBron has 4 MVPs during the regular season, and Michael Jordan at 28 only had 2. LeBron just finished winning his 2nd championship at 28. Michael Jordan only had 1. And LeBron James just won his 2nd Finals MVP during that same age for Jordan. He only had 1. But one can make the argument that Michael Jordan did 3 years in college and LeBron came straight out of high school. So as you can see, LeBron James is ahead of Michael Jordan in NBA accomplishments in terms of age. At the age of 28, LeBron has double the amount of league MVPs. He's won 2 titles and was the NBA Finals MVP, both of those titles. But the counter argument would be that Michael Jordan went to college for 3 years, and not only that, he won a national championship with North Carolina, which is no easy task. And LeBron came straight out of high school to the NBA at the age of 19, so he had a longer period of time in the NBA to accomplish more things. Here is another chart to compare Michael Jordan and LeBron James when it comes to their ages and their accomplishments in basketball. As you can see, LeBron is quite accomplished. He has the couple championships, the 4 MVPs, the 2 Finals MVPs, but he also has 2 gold medals and a bronze medal in the Olympics. So LeBron is on pace to surpass Michael Jordan as the greatest of all time if he sustains this level of excellence for the next few years to come. One of the biggest knocks on LeBron James is that he had to go to Miami and team up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh to win his titles. Well, there's this misconception that Jordan was able to do it on his own, which is not true. He had Scottie Pippen all the years, who is one of the greatest forwards to ever play the game. Arguably better than Dwayne Wade, most certainly better than Chris Bosh. He also had Horace Grant, who was vastly underrated, and in his 2nd three-peat, he had Dennis Rodman, who's the greatest rebounder of all time and a heck of a defender. So Jordan did have plenty of help with the Bulls. He wouldn't have won any of those titles without his teammates. He also had the game's greatest coach, in Phil Jackson, who's going to go down in history as the greatest NBA coach ever. LeBron James hasn't had a coach of that caliber at any point in his career. Now, there's argument after the 2nd title that LeBron James was saved by Ray Allen's Game 6 shot to win over the Spurs. Well, Jordan also had teammates that hit big shots in his career. In 1993, John Paxson hit a big shot over Barkley's Suns. And in 1997, Steve Kerr hit a big shot over Karl Malone and John Stockton's Utah Jazz team. So Jordan's teammates did step up and hit big shots for Jordan, and he most certainly wouldn't have won any of those titles without the help of his teammates. So the teammate argument is pretty even in my mind. They both had plenty of help, in winning their titles because it is a team sport, and neither one of them couldn't have won without the contributions from their teammates. Here are some stats comparing MJ and LeBron. As you can see, MJ is more of a pure scorer than LeBron was, but MJ is probably the best scorer the NBA has ever seen. He averaged 30 points per game, whereas LeBron only has 27, but LeBron also had higher averages for rebounds and assists. So LeBron, from a basketball standpoint, is a more complete basketball player. Their shooting percentages are virtually the same, and their three-point shooting is virtually the same. MJ won 10 scoring titles, and LeBron has only won 1, but scoring has never been LeBron's only focus. By their second ring, we can look at the stats comparing MJ and LeBron. MJ had 13 playoff wins, and LeBron had 19. MJ's playoff winning percentage by his second ring was .587. LeBron's was .638 at the same point in time. MJ was an 8-time All-Star, and LeBron was a 9-time All-Star by the time he won his second ring. So as you can see, LeBron is on pace to match Jordan's legacy, if not surpass his legacy. It definitely is possible for LeBron to catch Jordan and stake the claim to be the greatest NBA player ever. But in order to do that, he's going to have to play as well as he did this year for the next 5 years, which is a tall task. There's a lot of things that you can't predict. He needs to stay healthy, and he needs to be the best player in the NBA for the next 5 years as well. He's going to have to be better than Kevin Durant. He's going to have to be better than Derrick Rose, and that's a tall order. That's the precedent that Michael Jordan set. To be the greatest of all time, you're going to have to sustain a long-term period of excellence and continue to win and win and win, which is very difficult to do at the pro level. So Jordan's shadow looms large over everybody that steps onto the court and plays professional basketball. But I think I've shown you enough that LeBron definitely can do it if he stays on the current pace he is now. And his pace, it's very possible for him to surpass Jordan, to be the greatest basketball player ever. Thank you.